we hope that you will continue to go to our website and bookmark it if you haven't already. I don't know what you're doing with your life if you haven't bookmarked it already. Chicksontheright.com. Chicksontheright.com should be your go-to place for all things news and wonderful, wonderful pieces of wonderful writing. We have really good writers, including ourselves. We
We're
go
not
out there.
bad.
I mean, we're pretty good. We're pretty good writers. We've been doing it for a while. And then you can also go to our website. When you go there, you can kind of scroll down and you'll see where it says newsletter, subscribe. You should subscribe to that newsletter. And then you can get happy news and also whack news every single day from us, from our newsletter.
Thank you, Lori. Lori has noticed my amazing new hat that I got for my
hat.
birthday from my neighbor, Kim. I love this hat.
Great hat. I was going to say something, but we were so busy talking about other things. But I do love your hat.
So yeah, massive props to Kim. She knows what I like, and I like this hat.
That's a great one.
You guys, so there's still a lot to get to on this whole cocaine in the White House thing. I cannot believe that this is a story, and it's very interesting how the location of the cocaine has changed now like 72 different times. And that's because of the White House. They keep changing their story. It's so weird that they would do that, isn't it?
It's so weird. It's very weird.
But we'll get to that in a second. First, I wanted to mention, if you haven't signed up for the new Twitter replacement, or not replacement, but competitor from Mark Zuckerberg called Threads, you maybe should. I don't know. Or not. Like I did, just because I'm already on Instagram and it was like 2 buttons to click on it and get it.
Don't you think it's going to be like the liberal version of it? It's going to go back to it. Yeah, it's going to be like the commie version of Twitter.
Yeah.
That's
and people are already getting censored. Like DC Drano, which is a very popular account on Instagram and on Twitter. I guess somebody went and tried to follow it on Threads, and they got like a little warning that said, this account has been known to publish misinformation. Are you sure you want to follow? So they're already like so freaking commie at Threads. So commie.
Yeah.
But the best news is that Elon is now suing Mark Zuckerberg because of it, because it turns out that a whole bunch of those people that got let go from Twitter when Elon first took over, they all got hired up by Mark Zuckerberg so that he could find out how to make a Twitter. And that is exactly, and it's such a copycat, although it's not nearly as good. It's such a copycat that Elon is like, I'm on to you. And competition is fine. Copying is not. Right. And so I'm serving you with these papers that are all legal.
God. I love this fight so much. And I really do. I do want him to get in a cage, and I want Elon to kick his ass. I'm just not going to lie about it. That's what I really want. I don't know if that could ever happen, but you have no idea how much I want that to happen.
Right? Oh my God. It's getting,
and I feel like what would happen, they get in a ring and then he'd punch him and then like his head would fall off and we'd all realize that he is in fact an alien from Gleeborg 9. And then there'd be like wires.
I think that goes without saying already.
Right.
But yeah, I think it is definitely a fight that's heating up. And so I don't know, like now that there's a legal battle, does that mean that they will have to refrain from an actual physical battle, or can they just do it all?
I don't know. Is there a lawyer in here? Is there like precedent set that you can't just go into a ring, some MMA ring, and kick the crap out of one another?
Can you imagine if there is precedent set? Like according to Jones versus Marvin,
right? Exactly.
You actually cannot have a cage fight if you're in the middle of a legal tangle.
They may be the first. I love this so much.
It's so great.
I know.
So anyway, that is a thing. You can check out Threads if you want. I checked it out and it's pretty lame. And it is probably going to be the commie Twitter. Like it's going to be where all the celebrities go. But I think they're going to ultimately get bored because they are not, it's just going to be a big, what do they call it? Like an echo chamber.
A circle jerk?
No, it's going to be, they're not going to have any, there's going to be nobody for them to fight with. You know what I mean?
But they love that. Mock, they'll never tire of that.
Just like hearing each other spout compliments?
Yes, they love that. Are you kidding? Celebrities and those weirdos, they love that. They absolutely love the old Twitter. They loved it. And then when they started getting, reality shoved in their faces, they were like, and
government, come govern me harder.
Right.
Make them stop.
Yeah, they can't handle it.
So anyway, we'll see what comes of that legal battle. Also, for those of you who are fans of Tucker, and I think I could probably suspect that all of you are, he's going to be appearing on the Russell Brand show today, which I think you can check out on Rumble at noon. So if you're interested in Russell Brand interviewing Tucker Carlson, that should be quite a discussion.
I think that'll be great.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really, 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 really great. Is what
the only thing that could be greater than that is if he came on our show.
Tucker, oh my God, can you imagine? It's never gonna happen.
Never happen. But man, wouldn't it be fun?
It would be so fun. I would just want him to be like in full snark mode. You know,
we'd have the greatest time.
It's my favorite. And then lastly, before we get to some the cocaine story and the videos that accompany it, we told you yesterday that Mark Levin's new book called The Democrat Party Hates America, I think is the name of it, that Target told his publisher they would not be carrying it because the title was so mean. And there was enough backlash, I guess, that Target has now done a complete 180, and now they have said, "All right, we'll carry it."
It's probably because they know that they're gonna sell a lot, right? People will buy it. It's capitalism, baby.
That's the thing. Like, there's part of me that hopes that it sells out really well at Target, but then there's the other part of me that's like, people, stop shopping at Target. You know what I mean? I don't know what I feel like more. I don't know.
But you think that they would know that, you know?
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, obviously, go get the book, but maybe don't get it from Target. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't decide.
There are a lot of places you can buy it. Maybe that's not the best place to buy it because suck it, Target.
That's right. Suck it, Target, indeed. You guys, I know we've talked to you before many, many times about Cozy Earth and the loungewear and like the PJs and the robes and like just the luxury of their products. When you put anything of theirs onto your skin, like you throw on a nightgown.
It's like a stick of butter. It's like butter.
It is.
So lovely.
Oh my God. I mean, you just feel like immediately like you're a Kardashian. You know what I mean? Like you have just more money than you know.
Only without the skank. It's like you don't get the skank on you. You just get the luxury on you. You know?
Gosh, I mean, that it is, if you are looking to spoil someone rotten, something from Cozy Earth is the way to do it. So I finally bit the bullet. I ordered the joggers.
Yeah,
these are them.
So fantastic. I have the dark gray.
If you
so great.
I don't know if you can see on the camera, or I mean, the softness of this fabric it's like I don't know how to describe it except that it's the magic bamboo viscose, super soft, super silky, but not like in an icky way. You know what I mean? It's just like this soft, cool to the touch fabric. They're just amazing. And what's great about them is that I can wear them out of the house and my husband will not accuse me of wearing PJs out of the house.
So true. It's very true.
That's the best part about them. And of course, you know, it's luxury when they come in this glorious carrying case.
I know. It's
right?
really nice.
I mean, it's a nice gift for somebody, you guys. And if you've been thinking about it, if you've been like, man, I would love to get those for myself or somebody else, do it now because right now it's 40% off. That's huge. So you can go to cozyearth.com/chicks, use code chicks at checkout, and it's up to 40% off on the Cozy Earth loungewear. And once you go Cozy Earth, it's going to be really hard to go to just like plain old cotton. I'm telling you that right now. Like you get spoiled and oh man, it's so soft and glorious. Anyway, cozyearth.com/chicks. All right, you guys ready to talk about Coke?
Let's talk about cocaine. I mean, listen, seriously, Eric Clapton is having a good week.
It is a good week for
It's a good week for him, you know? Everybody's listening to that song.
All right. So Karine Jean-Pierre apparently has trained I don't know how many deputy press secretaries there are, actually. I'm not sure. But she has definitely trained this dude. I don't know his name. It doesn't matter. She has trained this dude so well how to avoid answering direct questions that it's almost remarkable. I've got a couple of clips of him in a press gaggle. It's audio only, but you're going to hear him be asked about the latest developments from the cocaine that was found in the White House, and the ability that he and the rest of this team have to dance around questions is truly breathtaking. And really quickly, let me just thank Superfan Sid. Superfan Sid says, Mock, Mr. Miyagi is ready for your wax on, wax off lessons. Have a great Friday. I did get some lessons, and I think I've got my paint thing sorted out, but that's a whole other story.
Very good.
Okay, so let's get to these two clips from the deputy press secretary about the coke in the White House.
New details on the investigation into the cocaine found at the White House. Can you confirm that it was a small baggie and that DNA testing is taking place?
I respect there is interest in this. To be transparent with you, I do not have additional information to provide beyond what Karine laid out in the briefing room yesterday, which is this is something we take seriously. The law enforcement professionals in the Secret Service are investigating after this substance was discovered in a highly traveled area. We're willing to assist in any way needed. Beyond that, I'm going to respect their process.
More on the cocaine. I understand the Secret Service is conducting an investigation. If the Secret Service is able to determine the individual responsible, will the Secret Service and will the White House commit to transparency in this and making that information public?
I'm going to defer to the Secret Service professionals who are carrying this out. I'm just not going to engage on hypotheticals about it. I would suggest you contact them for anything more.
So the answer is no. We're not going to be transparent. The answer is no. You're never going to know. It's not. Nope. We're not going to tell you. We're changing our story every day, and screw you, the American people. That's the answer. Seriously.
Isn't it amazing? Like that. You know what's so weird to me about it? Not just that everything changes in the details of where it was found,
and not that there's cocaine in the White House, because that's weird enough. Yeah.
The most amazing thing is that they are not like just going out of their minds to reach out to the press to say any accusation that this came from Hunter Biden is utterly ridiculous. That they're not saying that says everything.
Of course it does.
I mean,
because everybody
won't say it.
Because everybody knows that it has to do with him. Everybody, Democrats, Republicans, we all know the guy's a crackhead.
Oh my God.
Like, we've never dealt with this before him. Everybody knows. It's just so ridiculous.
But now they're saying that we actually may never know the source. Listen to this report. This is from MSNBC.
Yeah, Ron Kelly O'Donnell reports that it's possible that we might not even get to learn who actually brought this small baggie is. So I'm sure that's a sigh of relief to whoever sort of made the boneheaded move of bringing a bag of cocaine to the White House. But because this was in a, not an area that, is highly trafficked, but wasn't necessarily covered by cameras all that well, it's an area that a decent amount of people had access to. It just makes that investigation a little bit difficult. So, this could all end without, necessarily anyone being named as the person who was responsible for bringing that bag of cocaine to the White House.
Of course, it could all end that way. It could end that way because everything that Hunter Biden does ends that way. He's never held accountable, right? This is becoming a theme, right? It's
and the fact that press secretary guy, when he was asked directly, do you guys commit that when you find out who it is, you will tell us? And the guy's like, well, we're not going to engage in hypotheticals. There's nothing hypothetical about that.
Yeah, it's yes or no.
Hypothetically means that the fact is someone brought it. And if they find out who that is, will they tell? That's it. That's not a hypothetical. Someone's ultimately responsible for this.
Yeah, answer yes or no. Answer yes or no, and he can't do that. So yeah, exactly. The answer to that was no, we're not going to tell you. We're going to cover this up just like we cover everything else up, just like we protect him at all costs. They protect this guy at all costs.
Yep.
It's unreal.
I mean, it so speaks volumes that they're not just adamantly saying, of course it was not Hunter's. Of course not. But they're not saying it. They're not saying it. And Stephen Miller counters some of these other arguments about how, well, this wasn't a really well-cameraed area or whatever. he thinks something different.
I would just put it this way. Nobody is going into the West Wing of the White House without a million eyes being on you. This is one of the most secure facilities in the face of the earth. You are only steps away from the Oval Office. You're only steps away from the Situation Room. You're only steps away from the offices of the National Security Advisor and many other of the highest ranking officers in the U.S. government.
Yeah, I believe him.
Yeah.
I totally do.
I mean, the likelihood of no one seeing anything, come on.
Yeah. I mean, and this is the thing. It's like at this point, if you have half a shred of a brain cell, you know that this White House lies. You know that this administration lies, like all these agencies lie. They're all freaking lying, you guys. It's just great. And we've seen precedent now. They've covered up so many things for this loser that you now see on the screen. I mean, this guy is a crackhead loser, and he's already gotten out of so many things. And so, I mean, if you believe that he didn't do this, okay, whatever. I have tidal wave insurance to sell you in Indiana. It's just so dumb. This is so dumb at this point. And the people who buy this garbage that they're trying to sell, I feel sorry for you. It's ridiculous at this point.
Well, and Darrell Issa kind of just says it, which is what I've always loved him. Congressman from California. Listen to this.
I'm cynical, and Judge, you can be too at times. How is it that we've never had cocaine in the White House until we have somebody with a record of using cocaine who was in the White House just about the same time? I'm cynical enough to think that it's not just an accident, that in fact the policies of the White House that let Hunter Biden in, let somebody in with cocaine, and they got stoned and forgot to take it with them, apparently.
Well, and
exactly. Precisely.
I mean, it just does seem awfully coincidental.
Isn't it? It's so weird.
It's so weird.
I mean, we've never had to deal with this before. I wonder why. Oh my God.
And then Sebastian Gorka. Sebastian, he does not mince words, as we know. We've talked to him before directly. And so he is just going to say it like it is. He's driving. It always bothers me when people record themselves while they're driving, but that's neither here nor there. He would like to set the record straight.
Cut the garbage out. All the rubbish that's been spewed about the dime bag, Coke in the White House story. I worked in the White House. See that? Presidential service pin. That's what that means. Let's talk about what happened and what didn't happen. It wasn't found in a well-trafficked area. Listen to the audio recording of the hazmat team that had to use the Gemini chemical detection equipment to identify the white powder. They were in the library of the residence. I was a deputy to the president. I went there once after a private dinner with President Trump. You don't get to go in there whenever you want. Secondly, if you're a certain category like I was, with a blue access, all access pass to the White House, or a member of the family, if you come into the White House in a vehicle, your vehicle isn't searched. You may have a canine EOD inspection, which is pretty random, but they don't even open up your vehicle. You can bring in anything. If you're a member of a press or a visitor, that's not the case. You go through multiple security checkpoints. So let's be clear. It's a member of the family or a very senior person working for the president. But I think we all know who it is, right? Come on. He's a crackhead.
Again, I agree. I totally agree with him. Was this interior red? Was that red leather interior?
It may have
the
been
kind of stuff that I noticed. I mean, I heard everything he said, and I totally agree with it. But that was pretty cool interior.
I just noticed that he was freaking driving and spending a lot more time looking into the camera than he was the road.
Very dangerous, you guys. Don't do that. Don't try that at home.
I don't like that, Seb. Right. Don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So anyway, that's that when it comes to the latest on the Coke scandal.
They're lying to you, you guys. They're lying.
They always do.
Yeah.
They always do.
Yep.
If you haven't yet seen Sound of Freedom, I don't know what you're waiting for. You don't even have the excuse of like, I can't afford tickets, because they have that whole pay it forward program where they have tickets available to those who can't afford it for absolutely free. So you have no excuse not to be filling the theaters this week. That's the goal, to pack the theaters as much as possible this week. That is opening week, because they opened on the 3rd, 4th of July. If you need tickets, you can get them at angel.com/freedom. Join the movement to help save children from trafficking. This movie is based on a true story. It exposes the child trafficking business, and unfortunately, the fact that the U.S. is the largest consumer of that business. It is such a fantastically made film.
So
it is
good.
not exploitative. It is not gratuitous at all. But you do feel you feel all the things, and you know exactly what's happening, and it is horrifying and eye-opening, and it's something that everybody needs to see. And in fact, if you haven't had a chance to look at the post that I put out on chicksontheright.com yesterday, please look at it, because I was so touched by this man who saw the movie and wrote an amazing post on Twitter that you'll see in this post, where he talks about how he now knows, after seeing this movie, what his life's purpose is, and he is dedicating the entire rest of his life to helping save kids. And so this is not just a movie that is like, wow, that was a great movie. This movie is actually changing lives. It's that important and that good. So please visit angel.com/freedom and get your tickets. See it if you haven't already seen it. Please, please, please.
I think Grace, we need to thank Grace.
Oh, yeah. It looks like we've got a couple people to thank. Michael Stellar, there's nothing to see here. Please disperse. That's right.
Exactly.
Aaron McElwain, somebody was probably bringing it to Hunter. Great point. That's entirely possible.
Yep.
Grace McAndrew Whitna, thank you so much for that. Christy Addington says, we saw it last night and my heart is broken.
It's
Go
just,
see it. Yeah.
just so moving. It's so, so good, you guys. You have to see it.
God, so, and I have not seen a single person at all, anywhere, on any platform say, yeah, it was just okay. Or,
oh my God,
it wasn't that great. Like,
yeah, it's exceptional.
Yeah, it's truly exceptional. Okay, we've got a couple of new Kamala clips to share, because this is a woman who finds herself so intensely hilarious. And she will cackle at anything, as you know. And listen, I know I do the same thing. I'm a very easily amused person. But this is out of control. So she's introducing or pointing out to a crowd of people, she's pointing out her husband, and she finds it hilarious that he is in fact her husband and now the second gentleman. Check this out.
And gentlemen of the United States, my husband, Doug Emhoff, and he's the second gentleman of the United States.
Why is that funny? I don't know. I don't understand why that's funny.
I don't know.
I wonder, like, if she goes into funny movies and then doesn't laugh. You know?
She's one of those weirdos.
Yeah, like nothing, like the stuff that's funny isn't funny to her, and then the stuff that's not funny is just freaking hilarious. She's just so weird.
So weird. Oh my gosh. And she got caught up in another one of her famous word salad extravaganza-thons yesterday when she was asked about culture. And so she talks about her definition, I guess, of culture, what culture means to her. And it is absolutely all over the place. And she's back to discussing moments of time. So be on the lookout for that little phrase. She's just so bad at this, you guys. Watch.
Well, I think culture is a reflection of our moment in our time, right? And present culture is the way we express how we're feeling about the moment.
Right.
And we should always find times to express how we feel about the moment that is a reflection of joy, because
Right.
you know, it comes in the morning. We have to find ways to also express the way we feel about the moment in terms of just having language and a connection to how people are experiencing life. And I think about it in that way too.
Oh my God, that's our vice president, you guys. That's it. So that must have been at the Essence Awards. I did a post on the Essence Awards the other day about how and you guys know who India Arie is. She's such a great singer. God, I love her so much. She'd made a comment because Megan Thee Stallion, they had there's this hot girl boot camp or something that they do at the Essence Awards. And there's so many Black people who are just upset about it because it's become this twerking thing where they get up on a stage and they all show their asses and they're just twerking. And a lot of Black people are like, that's not what the Essence Awards are supposed to be about. And India Arie, she's like, that's not okay. You know,
wow, good for her.
She's just like, I don't like that. That's not okay. And so she spoke out against it. And I'd love her for that, you know? And so, and people were like, you don't, shut up, old lady, shut up, boomer, kind of a thing to her. And so there's this big fight in the community going back and forth. And I just think it's really interesting. And because she wants a little bit more modesty, I guess. And she doesn't want, the Black community to be looked at as the twerkers on the stage. Right. You know what I mean? I just thought it's just an interesting little fight that's happening there. And I kind of love
It's too bad that she's an exception though. You know what I mean?
Right. I love that.
That's weird.
Yeah. I love that about her because I love her music. I love her style. I just love everything. But anyways, I just, that it's interesting because she's at the Essence Awards. It reminded me of that post that I did about her and that infighting that's happening. It's interesting what's happening there. But anyways, not to get off subject.
All these people that were probably listening to Kamala, unfortunately, were probably like, yeah, she is right on when it comes to culture. She didn't say anything.
Nothing. She talked in circles. Yeah.
Oh my God. How is nobody showing her these tapes and saying, can you just not do that?
And she's a terrible representative, I think.
Oh my God,
a million other people. And you know what? Why don't they invite somebody like Candace Owens to the Essence Awards?
Oh, I'm sure she's blacklisted. No pun intended.
No, I was going to say no pun intended. But seriously, she would be a wonderful person to invite. So well, she's just so brilliant
and gorgeous.
And but you'll never see her at an Essence Awards. Why is that? Oh, that's right, because she's conservative.
Right.
It's just so irritating,
Yesterday we showed you that ad from the DeSantis war room. The DeSantis team put out this ad that was trying to knock Trump for his LGBTQ advocacy. And I thought it was a god-awful ad. Many people thought it was a god-awful ad, that it didn't do him any favors whatsoever. And so got a couple of clips to share with you from DeSantis. First, he's answering a question or defending his current poll numbers. So as we know, Trump is leaps and bounds ahead, 50% compared to DeSantis's 20%. So way ahead. And so he was asked about that and answered this way.
Real Clear Politics averages as well. And while Donald Trump is above 50%, and some of these polls 60%. Your numbers are somewhere between 20 and 10%, and they've stayed there for about 2 months. Why is it, in your estimation, the numbers have not reflected your success in Florida?
Well, I think if you look at the people like the corporate media, who are they going after? Who do they not want to be the nominee? They're going after me. Who's the president of Mexico attacking because he knows we'll be strong on the border and hold him accountable in the cartels? He's going after me. So I think if you look at all these people that are responsible for a lot of the ills in our society, they're targeting me as the person they don't want to see as the candidate. And so this campaign just started, but I think it's pretty clear that I'm the guy that not only can beat Biden, I'm the guy that can beat the left on all these different issues because people's freedoms are under assault. We had to fight all these people in Florida. And I think of any Republican in the country, I have the best record of defeating the left on issue after issue. And we'll be making that case over the next 6 or 7 months. I'm running to win in January and February. I'm not running to juice polling now.
It was a great answer.
Yeah.
Did you see his posture change? I always look at people's posture when they're asked weird questions like that. I say weird, tough questions like that. And you could see his face. You could see him clenching.
Yeah.
When he was asked that question, you could tell he was pissed off. He didn't like it. He didn't like, he's like, if you just,
he was ready. He was ready.
Yeah. Oh, he was totally ready to answer the question. I mean, it was a good answer, and I think he was right. It's just I think he's definitely a formidable opponent.
And he's raised so much money. His fundraising stats came out yesterday, and apparently he's beaten Trump in some of these numbers. So he's obviously got support. I don't know why that support isn't reflected in the polls. And so and maybe he's right. Maybe it is too early, and we're going to hear from another candidate.
And he's not about that. He's definitely not raised as much money as Trump. So if you look at it from a money standpoint, I think Trump is raised. I don't know.
But he's really, really close, and in less time. So it's
that's
actually
true.
really, really close.
That's true. Yeah, he's close, and you're right. It has been in less time. He has had less time to raise it. But when you just look at just bank accounts, it's not as much. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It was a great answer.
Yeah.
Great answer.
He also responded to Tomi Lahren. Tomi Lahren asked the question about that ad that we played yesterday. That was just not a good ad. And so he's gotten tons of backlash about it. And she wanted to ask him directly. You will also see some defensiveness about this as well. But I think he uses his defensiveness to his favor to go after Trump on this issue, which in some ways is pretty deserved. Listen.
There has been a little bit of backlash because late last week, the DeSantis War Room Twitter account put out a video attacking Donald Trump for, I guess, his advocacy for the LGBTQ community. And some people on the Trump side, and then, of course, the liberals, some people in between, they were pretty upset at that video. It features Caitlyn Jenner and other folks. What do you say? What was the intent of that video? And it was not put out by you, but it was put out by an account linked to you. What's your response to all the backlash?
I mean, I think, identifying Donald Trump as really being a pioneer in injecting gender ideology into the mainstream where he was having men compete against women in his beauty pageants. I think that's totally fair game because he's now campaigning the opposite, that he doesn't think that you should have men competing in women's things like athletics. And so we've been very clear on it that we believe in protecting the rights of our girls and the rights of women athletes to be able to participate with fairness and with integrity. And ultimately, when you talk about some of the gender ideology that's being unleashed in this country, in the state of Florida, we are fighting back against that clearly in schools. But I think even beyond that, it's just a fundamental issue of, what role, I think it's an attack on women's rights more broadly to say that gender is fluid. And I also think it's an attack on the truth itself. When they take a swimmer who swam on the men's team for 3 years and then switches to the women's team, and they say that's the women's swim national champion, we know not only does that violate the opportunities for the other women swimmers, but we also know that that's a lie. It's not true. And I think there's value in making sure our society is rooted in truth and not in social fads.
I mean, that was a pretty solid answer. And somebody said, well, pageants aren't the same as athletics. No, they're not the same, but there's still a space for women. And so why has anybody allowed men to compete in those spaces? It's the same.
Yeah, I'm not going to make excuses for anybody who allows a man in a woman's space. Like because I'm
done with that.
I'm anti all that. So I don't want any man in my daughter's space. So yeah, don't make excuses for that anywhere. I don't care who it is.
Yeah.
Not going to happen on my watch.
I still think his ad was terrible, but he's explaining it to some degree. I think it was a terrible ad. But his wife certainly made up for it in spades with her new ad. You guys, this one is getting a lot of traction because it is a phenomenal ad. I mean, when it comes to campaign ads, I think this is how you do it.
Yeah.
In America, we've witnessed a lot and put up with enough.
You guys gotta go.
Let's go. He is arresting her for being on a public playground. Her kids are here.
We've been forced into silence.
God, that makes me so
into
mad.
Compliance. Told that we must trust the science.
Indoor and outdoor venues should be closed.
We've been told that we must deny truth, back down and look the other way. But enough is enough. When you come after our kids, we fight back. Because there's nothing we won't do to protect our children. They're not yours.
These are our kids.
Our nation's children are all our children.
We will not allow you to exploit their innocence to advance your agenda. We are no longer silent. We are united. And we have finally found our fighter.
We're not going to let you impose an agenda on our kids. We're going to stand up for our kids.
He'll do for America what he did for us in Florida. Schools open. Parents' rights defended. School choice universal. Critical race theory prohibited. DEI stopped. Child mutilation illegal. Girls' sports saved. Communities protected. Our economy growing. And freedom guaranteed.
But winning the fight in Florida is just the beginning. We must protect parents' rights and the innocence of our children. We must restore sanity in our society. We need every mama and every grandmama in every corner of the country to stand up and fight back by electing Ron DeSantis President of the United States of America. Join us by texting MAMAS to 512345.
That's how you do an ad.
that was pretty effective. I mean, and
wow.
anybody who hates the guy or is like, the Bushes are bankrolling him, it's Soros, blah. Anybody who thinks that, take him out of the equation and then tell me how take him and take her out, like plug us in to that ad. You know, take another person and then tell me how effective the ad is. Because the ad at face value is an effective freaking ad.
It's awesome.
It's a great ad. So, I mean, you can't deny that that's not an effective ad when it comes to just when it comes to the notions behind it. Because we all believe that stuff. All of us as conservatives, everything that was in that ad is stuff that we all believe from a conservative standpoint, I would hope.
No matter who you're supporting right now.
Right. No matter whether you support Tim Scott or Vivek or Trump or whoever, I would hope you agree with every single notion, every belief in that ad.
Yeah.
So if you take him out of it, even if you don't like him, I believe it. I mean, everything in that ad, I was like, hell yeah.
And it didn't just it reinvigorated all the anger that I had towards Fauci, towards the masking, towards the closures, towards all of that.
Right. And the thing is, it is important to remember all the stuff they did to us 3 years ago for years.
Yep.
So, I hope that all the candidates, they bring up that stuff during the campaign cycle, because that's why that was effective. It makes us remember all of the crap they did to us.
Yep.
All the crap they've done to our kids, all the education they've missed out on, all of the stuff, all of the oppression that they put onto us. I hope that all of the candidates take a note from that ad and they continue to do that, because it's women they're going to need in this election.
Right.
It's suburban women they're going to need. So, good ad.
It doesn't hurt that she comes from a news reporting or a sports reporting. I can't remember what kind of reporter she was, but she has that in her background. And she delivered it so perfectly.
Right.
The music was just absolutely perfect. It was,
but the message behind it is something that everybody on our side needs to remember. That's why it was effective, because so many of these candidates are so, like the Chris Christie's, he's not focusing on the right stuff. He's never going to win because he's not focusing on the right stuff. That's the right stuff to focus on, because so many people have forgotten about what they did to us.
Well, and the most important part is that she listed out everything that DeSantis has done to combat what they did to us.
Yeah.
And so you cannot argue his results in the state of Florida. You simply cannot. And so it was just, wow.
That's a good ad.
That was
good
a
ad.
really, 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 really good ad. If you are concerned about your financial health, you may need to talk to our friend Zach at Bullwork Capital. Zach Abraham and the rest of his team are very, very focused on avoiding risk. So if you are nearing or even in retirement and you don't like all the risky stock market jumps and leaps around, and you just need to know that you're going to be okay in your later years and protected, he is very, very sensitive to the needs of the risk averse. And I consider myself one of those people. So you can check out Bullwork Capital. You can check out more about Zach at knowyourriskradio.com. You can also visit there, or you can call to get a free copy of his Common Sense Investing Guide at 866-779-RISK, 866-779-RISK, or knowyourriskradio.com. And we do a thing with him every other week.
Yep, we do.
We do a little podcast session.
And it comes out on Sundays. Usually it comes every other Sunday. Yep. You can check that out.
All right, let's get to some other candidates, because Vivek, obviously, he's polling third right now, doing very well. We need to talk about what's going on in the Democrat primary, because Biden has got himself into some hot water with Iowa and New Hampshire. We got to talk about RFK. Remember, we've referenced the fact that people are questioning how it is that he is so freaking jacked, and whether that is natural or not. And then we also have to talk about poor, flailing, floundering Asa Hutchinson. So let's start with Vivek, who answered a direct question about whether he would consider being Trump's VP.
Would you be open to being Trump's running mate?
I would not. I am actually focused on winning the presidency. If you're like me, got 2 young sons at home, making the sacrifices that we are, putting over $15 million of my money into this campaign already, hard-earned money, not what I inherited. I didn't inherit money. You know what? You make those sacrifices if you want to actually drive a national revival. Like Ronald Reagan did it in 1980. There was the Reagan Revolution. I say in a good-spirited way, we're looking for the Ramaswamy Revolution in 2024. And that's what I think we're going to deliver.
Did I hear you say you've put in $50 million into your campaign so far?
Oh, over 15.
$15 million. And so how much, where will you stop on self-funding?
We'll stop at nothing. To be honest with you, we've gotten also over 60,000 unique donors. I haven't said that, I think, in other settings yet. We crossed 60,000 unique donors at the start of July. I know many other candidates are talking about 40,000 being a tough threshold for the Republican debate stage. I'm a first-time candidate. I've never had a political donor or donor list in my life. We've already crossed 60,000. So this is a grassroots campaign. People are responding to the message of putting American interests first, but doing it based on principles and moral foundations. And I think that's going to take us not only all the way to the White House, but to a national revival in the 8 years thereafter. That's what I'm looking to lead.
All right, Vivek.
He's fantastic.
Isn't he?
I just love him.
I
really
know.
Do.
I do too.
Yeah. And he's like, nope, don't want to be a VP. I'm going all the way. Screw that.
Yeah.
And I believe
love
him.
that.
I believe every bit of that. Yeah.
Yeah. And people always are like, well, he's just running for VP or she's running for VP or whatever. I don't think that's the case with him at all.
I don't think so either. And I love that he had to get that jab in where he's like, I'm basically not a trust fund baby. I'm self-made.
Yeah.
You know, I did all this. I worked my ass off. I'm here and I'm putting my money into this. And not a lot of people can say that.
No.
You know, a lot of these people, a lot of these politicians, it's like they're from money, you know, and then they're bankrolled by all these people. And I love him. You know, he's just a great guy. And I don't know, I have no idea what's going to happen. Maybe he will win, but I have my doubts that he will, because there's just so many people that are so set in camps already. And so I don't know. Love it.
He's climbing though. Like every time that there's a new poll, it seems like he's inching up a little bit more.
I will say that
early,
my millennial kids like him. That's who they like and I think it's because he's young. So, I mean, I know that a lot of us here are not millennials, but and I don't know if you have millennials in your life who you talk to, but the conservative millennials in my life really like him. That's who stands out in their lives. And I think it's because they can really relate to him and they see him as somebody who is kind of revolutionary. Like he's not an 80-year-old dude.
Right.
You know, and I don't know how they feel about DeSantis, but they like him. So there's
Well,
something to
I
be
mean,
said for Vivek.
obviously a lot of people do. There's 60,000 individual donors. That's a pretty good number. 40 is the required number in order to make the debate stage. And that'll become important when you see Asa in just a moment. But first, we also need to talk about the fact that Biden, because there's such a fight right now with Biden wanting the first primary state for Democrats to be South Carolina. And, it's obvious why. South Carolina is the reason that we have him as president now, because Clyburn somehow worked his magic and got people, even though Biden was floundering and who knows, 4th, 5th place, whatever. All of a sudden, South Carolina, Jim Clyburn is like, hey, everybody, hey, black people, here's your man. Here's who you need to vote for. And then the campaign completely shifted. So now that he's been making that push to have South Carolina at the expense of New Hampshire and Iowa, those 2 states may not include Biden on the ballot. Like, he may not even be listed.
It's crazy.
In which case it would only be RFK Jr. and Marianne Williamson. Can you imagine?
Yeah, that'd be crazy. And then
So-
obviously RFK would be the guy.
Yeah, I mean, without question. So Mike Huckabee was on talking with one of the newscasters about this very issue. Check it out.
Got 30 seconds. I just want to get your feedback on this whole thing with Joe Biden wanting to be having the South Carolina primary first. He's turning his back on the Iowa caucus and New Hampshire primary. He could end up with his name not on the New Hampshire ballot and lose probably to RFK Jr. I think it's nuts. What say you?
I agree wholeheartedly. You can't skip out the first few primaries. No. And if you think you can, ask Rudy Giuliani in 2008 how it worked for him to skip everything and wait on everybody in Florida. By the time everyone got to Florida, it was over.
Yeah, it's. I've said it all morning. He's shooting himself in the foot.
Keep shooting. I don't mind this at all.
Can he do that and then have them swoop in and put Gavin in there? I mean, can they do that?
I don't know. Oh my gosh, that reminds me of a whole point that I forgot to make about the cocaine thing. I have a theory. I have a theory now.
You think it was Gavin?
No, I think they're going to try to pin it on Kamala.
Yeah,
as a way to get her out.
They already are. I saw a video floating around yesterday where they already kind of, there's some newscaster that kind of in a roundabout way floated that.
Really?
Yeah, it was in a video yesterday. I saw it. We should have probably played it today, but people are sort of floating that. They're kind of already starting to formulate that thesis to kind of pin it on her.
It makes so much sense though, right?
Yeah.
Because like that is an easy way for them to just be like, I'm sorry, we can't have that in our White House.
And we're going to get rid of her.
Yeah, it would be the easiest, even if she didn't do it, for them to try to pin it on her would be like the easiest way to get her out of there.
Oh my God, that'd be absurd though. Because I mean, I don't think any of us even believes that she does drugs at all.
She laughs a lot.
She does, but that just, don't you guys think that just seems absurd for her to be doing? She doesn't, if anything, I don't know. I don't know much about, does cocaine does it make you laugh a lot? I don't know.
I don't think so. I was totally
But this is I don't know. I've never done cocaine, so I don't know. But this is the thing. She just doesn't seem like a drug user to me.
But like her weird step niece or daughter or whatever, that model chick, maybe it's Doug. Maybe it's Doug or one of his kids.
I seriously doubt it. But I could see where floating the idea that they could pin it on her is a good theory. And to get her out of there, something that would make her go away so they could get another VP candidate in there. I see what you're saying.
I'm just saying. I mean,
it's a good theory.
Gavin so much.
Yeah, and I saw that floating around yesterday a little bit where they're starting to kind of do that. And you know how the media is. They get their marching orders from somebody. So I'm like, this is interesting. Maybe that is starting to happen. So
I love it. I love all
I
of
wouldn't put
so
it
much.
I wouldn't put it past them. Yep.
Okay, so back to RFK. I know was it last week where we were showing that video of him on Venice Beach working out, and we were like, "Damn, RFK, look at you!
You're a kangaroo."
And of course, there was immediately wild speculation that he's on all kinds of steroids or whatever. So Eric Bolling asked him outright about that rumor, and you can listen to his answer and judge for yourself.
Finally,
the last one we wanted to get to. I got to get to this. All right, so you put out a video, or someone put out a video of you working out. You were shirtless. You're lifting some weights in Venice Beach. You look great. By the way, every man over, I'd say, 25 years old saying, what the heck is he doing? I mean, look, I don't mean to offend you. Like, are you just working out, or is there any sort of supplement that's going on there? Because, man, 69, you look terrific. What's going on there?
Well, I'm on an anti-aging protocol, and I take testosterone replacements, which are appropriate for my age. They're bioidentical to natural testosterone. And then I take a big fistful of nutrients, and I take good care of myself, and I work out every day. Although I'm not really proud of the push-ups, which I'm looking at right now on your screen, and I've gotten a lot of criticism that those aren't real push-ups.
Well, I got a lot of people who say, was that a deep fake? Because, man, the guy looks terrific.
So he takes bioidentical hormones
and a fistful of supplements.
Okay. So he basically gets like testosterone shots or whatever, or pellets. He probably does that pellet crap, which I don't recommend, FYI. But he does that stuff, and then takes a bunch of supplements. I mean, you can look like that, I guess, if you work out a lot. I just think people in this country are like, oh, you can't look like that if you're in your 60s. I feel like, people, if you really take a bunch of crap and like work out all the time, I think you can probably look like that. It just seems like a lot of work. Right?
I mean, whatever he's doing, it's working for him.
Mm-hmm.
He looks good.
Yeah. He's 69. Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe Jennifer, maybe he is taking rough greens.
He might be taking rough greens or healthy cell. You never know.
Right. I think it's rough greens. Yeah. And healthy cell for sure. Right.
All right. So we mentioned that Vivek has his 60,000 donors. We should also mention that Asa Hutchinson does not.
There's a couple of requirements, as you know, to be on the debate stage. One is our polls, and our polls qualify where we are in our polling nationally. We qualify for the debate, but then you have to have 40,000 individual donors, and they can be any amount. We're not there yet, and we've got till like August 23rd to get there. So we have work to do, and we need people's support to get there.
Now, Governor, there's a difference between 5,000 and 35,000. Where are you on that spectrum in terms of number of donors?
Well, we're above 5,000, so we got again more work to do. We've got time to do it.
Just go away. It's like, why every time you mention him, I'm like, oh, he's running. I
know. I just thought
I know I'm not the only one.
Well, we're above 5,000. So we've got 5,002 signatures.
I think you and I could get above 5,000 if we joint ran, I think we could do that. What do you guys think? It's like people would be like, the chick's on the right. All right. Seriously.
Oh my
just stop.
God.
Just stop it.
I know.
God bless them.
Oh shoot. I just accidentally got rid of one of the videos that I meant to show you. And that is Chris Cuomo actually making some sense, you guys. Chris Cuomo weighing in on this whole federal judge telling the White House, you have to stop telling social media companies what to do and what posts to take down. Chris Cuomo having a moment of clarity. Check this out.
A decision, though, today that I like. Controversial. A lot of people don't like it. I do. Federal judge barring temporarily the federal government from contacting social media companies about what speech should be suppressed. I like it. Why? Because I don't want the government, which is the entity subject to the First Amendment. Okay. That's what the First Amendment is about. Government shall make no law. Okay. I don't like government making an end run around the First Amendment by getting private companies to address their content concerns for them. And that's what this is about. Now, look, I'm not saying there's no need for concern. I know there was a lot of BS about the vaccine and COVID and a lot of other people and me online. A lot of it is intentionally wrong. It's deceptive by design and used to foment division and distrust. That is all true. And that was absolutely a danger during the pandemic and today.
Wow.
Right?
Wow. What did I just hear? What's going on?
I know. I was stunned.
He was. I'm sorry. I need a moment. He's it's like self-awareness in him. And he's saying it was dangerous and it was meant to divide. And he was part of that. Like he was part and parcel to that. Wow.
I know. I was so blown away. I was like, I'm going to have to play this just to make sure I heard it right.
I know. He's basically saying, I'm a big fat jerk. He's just short of saying that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah, it's wild. That's craziness. I cannot believe I just heard that come out of his face.
I know. That's why I thought it was probably worth sharing. Also, Marjorie Taylor Greene has been booted out of the Freedom Caucus, which just is, it's a true testament to how much drama and chaos and division there is going on within the Republican Party. And here to report on that is Caitlin Collins and friends.
This heated exchange you see playing out here between Marjorie Taylor Greene and the other person, Colorado Congressman Lauren Boebert. Greene accused Boebert at this time, we are told from reporting later on, of copying her article of impeachment and reportedly called her a little bee. Congresswoman Greene refused to comment on her status in the House Freedom Caucus, but said in a statement in part, quote, "In Congress, I served Northwest Georgia first, and I served no group in Washington." Joining me now to discuss and laughing as I was reading that is Scott Jennings, former special assistant to President George W. Bush, and Bakari Sellers, former Democratic state rep from South Carolina, and the host of the Bakari Sellers podcast.
You're giving me the giggles.
Okay, well, then I'll go to Scott.
Son of a bee, you can't be doing that. This is hilarious.
My parents watch. I can't do that. Anyway, Scott, what happened to the 11th commandment from Ronald Reagan, thou shalt not speak ill of any Republican? Now we've got the House Freedom Caucus kicking out Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah, I wonder if this is really the thing, or if the fact that she's actually been a pretty good ally of Kevin McCarthy. I mean, she stood with Kevin McCarthy. She helped him become the speaker. She voted with him on the debt deal. He's used her, a lot here. He's got a narrow majority, and they're using this as the trigger point. But I actually wonder if it's just they don't like the fact that she's, become card-carrying member of the establishment.
Did you see a decision?
Okay, I do think it's kind of funny though that guy's clutching his pearls over her calling her name Lauren Boebert a bitch or whatever.
Yeah.
When dude, it's your side of the aisle has boobs at the White House flopping around and cocaine. It's like you don't have much of a leg to stand on when it comes to ethics or morality. I mean, you're clutching your pearls over two women squabbling. Get bent.
Well, but also it's they deserve to be ridiculed.
They do.
Okay, so stupid.
They do, but not by people at CNN or not by people at MSNBC. And it's like one side or the other. It's like when one side is looking at the other and pointing fingers and saying, "Oh my God, I can't believe it." I kind of go, seriously, it's all, the whole bubble of Washington is like this big, toxic sludge of ickiness. It's all gross. All of it is so gross right now that it's
and to our credit, I will say we criticize both. I mean,
right.
Anytime there's a reason to criticize the right, we are pretty even-handed about that.
Exactly.
So, yeah, we do rip on the left a lot, but when it comes to the right, I mean, I was the first one to be like, Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert are acting like middle schoolers, and they need to cut it out.
Why do you think we always say drain the swamp? It's not just a part of it. It's all of it that needs to be drained. I mean, they're all gross. So when I watch that, I'm kind of like, okay, all right, whatever. Listen, I think it's dumb too. They shouldn't be fighting. They should be friends. But
they're not even friends, but maybe just don't have knockdown dragouts on the freaking House floor.
Right.
You morons. My God. Because then you're like handing red meat to the enemy. Why are you doing that?
I hear you. Yeah.
It's just blood in the water for sharks is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, I know we showed Chris Cuomo and his moment of clarity. Anna Kasparian of Young Turks also, and we've shown her a number of times over the last few months, actually coming to the realization that she has been lied to by people on her own side of the political aisle. She has now just come to terms with the fact that she has also been lied to about puberty blockers. So this is another look at the light bulb turning on moment for her.
We did straight news reporting on basically what you know, some of the risks could be when it comes to transitioning literal kids with puberty blockers and then cross-sex hormones. And through his reporting, which I'm very sad to say I didn't really come across until this year, I learned that I was wrong about a bunch of other things, right? So for instance, it is a lie that puberty blockers are reversible. In some cases, they are not, and they can cause irreparable harm. And look, you might think, okay, but you got to do a balancing act. And if a child or if a teenager has severe gender dysphoria, and it would actually be better for that person to go on puberty blocks. Okay, I mean, we should be able to balance that out. But my point here is withholding the information because you don't like the information getting out there ain't the way to go, because that destroys any opportunity for us to actually have a good faith debate about what we should do moving forward.
I hope she realizes that about vaccines too, because that's it's the same thing.
And about a whole mess of other things too.
Mhm.
It's just so, God, it's like she's getting
so
like
close.
She's this close, you guys. She's right on the edge. She's like, we just need to give her like half of, maybe like a quarter of a red pill, just a quarter. She's like an eighth of a pill.
With like a big giant glass of water, you know,
Right.
just like
It's okay. Like we
Yeah,
could even
she can
chase
do
it with a glass of wine if she wants that. You
There
know,
you
it's
go.
fine. You just have a little, like an eighth of a pill, because she's so close.
So close.
Right there
Right?
to being red pilled, you guys. You can just see it. You can see it. It's like
And-
every time I see like on Twitter, she trends on Twitter, and people are just like, come on over. Like, we're way happier.
That's true.
Our side is so much happier. You would be so much happier with us over here.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of gender reassignment, I'm going to give you an example of one of the surgeons who is doing these horrific, barbaric surgeries to give fake vaginas to dudes and fake penises to women. I mean, if you've not yet learned how those surgeries actually work, it's unbelievably disgusting. And I just want to give you an example of the type of surgeon who is doing these surgeries.
What are the pros and cons? So there's that, you know, all of this stuff, it started adding up.
One thing that is very new is genital surgery in someone that has underwent pubertal suppression. Not so much an issue in someone with assigned female at birth anatomy that undergoes a phalloplasty, because we're creating something with a free tissue transfer, a flap anyway. But a much bigger issue for an individual that's undergoing a penile inversion vaginoplasty, because we use all of that tissue to basically create the vulva as well as line the internal vaginal canal. And as a specialty, those of us that do a fairly high volume of genital gender affirming surgery, we've maybe done a handful of pubertally suppressed adolescents as a field, and no one's published on it yet. OHSU we're just putting our first series together as we're kind of learning and figuring out what works.
Experimenting.
But it's really changing things, because you don't have enough tissue to line the vaginal canal. So you either have to take a skin graft or take skin from elsewhere or use some artificial product. The way that we're dealing with it is by using a robot, and we're basically performing intra-abdominal components of the surgery. So we're using peritoneum, which is the inner lining of the abdomen, to line most of the vaginal canal.
Oh my God. What the hell are we doing?
Experiments. They're doing experiments on little kids. That's what they're doing.
Frankenstein.
Yeah, exactly. It's absolutely disgusting. It's like the Isle of Dr. Moreau.
But it's a
crap.
perfect segue into your whack.
Yeah, my whack. So Riley Gaines put this out. I think it was yesterday. I believe this individual is like, from what I saw in the comments and some after comments on this person is some sort of medical, works in a medical establishment in the UK. So this isn't just, this person is a freak. At least I think this person is a freak, but works as some sort of a medical person in the UK. So just keep that in mind when you're watching it. I'll just let Riley.
I refrained from posting on TikTok. I'm the swimmer who competed against Leah Thomas, who has been outspoken on why men should not be competing in women's sports or changing in our locker rooms. But after what I saw today on Twitter, I will be blasting my opinions and my views on all of my social media platforms because this is sick. And I think a true testament of where, as Americans, we are today. Okay, so I came across this picture yesterday on Twitter, which is very clearly a man who is claiming the identity of a woman and breastfeeding a child. After seeing that picture, I very quickly took to my Twitter to call that what it is, which is sexual abuse of a child. But I didn't realize to what degree until I saw this. In the following photos, you will see the same man who was breastfeeding the child actively using nipple clamps to fulfill his sexual fetish. Here is another one. And here is another one. And here is the Instagram caption from the same man on his Instagram profile where he wanted to check on how hard you can tug on the nipple clamps. So I guess what I'm wondering is how can any sane human being see this man posing with this child, obviously sucking on his nipple, now seeing what he engages in privately and not see this baby as an erotic prop for this man with a sick fetish? It is sexual abuse of a child, bottom line. And all of this to say that in America, we are normalizing pedophilia.
Right.
Let me repeat that. We are normalizing pedophilia. And we're normalizing this behavior in the guise of human rights.
Mm-hmm.
But sexual abuse is not a human right for anyone. I hate to even be spreading this message, but I think people need to see it. It's up to us to stand up against evil, which is exactly what this is. This is a battle of moral versus evil. The smirk on this man's face says it all.
Yep. Yep. It's like kind of like what we played yesterday. It's normal versus crazy, man. It's evil versus good. And I'm so glad that she's speaking out against this. What about that baby? Who's going to protect that baby? Like, I'm thinking about that baby in that video. Whose baby is that?
Well, they adopted that baby. I mean, that baby is his.
How does that even happen? How does that even happen? Yeah, you're right, Darren. It's a spiritual war. How does that even happen? How does that baby get into the hands of that freak? Like that, pray for the baby, y'all.
And the drugs that it requires to get a man to be able to have anything come out of his breasts is such a toxic cocktail that it is child abuse on its face to have a man try to breastfeed. It's so gross.
Yeah.
And one of the drugs that's used in the UK isn't even legal here in the United States. And they're like, in the UK, they're saying, oh yes, trans woman, you should try to breastfeed. Let us give you all of these millions of drugs that your baby is now going to get in something that isn't even actual biologically made food for that baby. It's just a drug-induced concoction of gross. I mean, it's just
And
vile.
meanwhile, here in the United States, American women are like, I don't like eating soy because my baby gets it.
And your doctor says, don't take Advil.
Right.
Meanwhile, they're going to
Right.
give all these drugs here too in the United States, just not that specific one.
Don't have a-
There's drugs that they will give men to simulate breastfeeding.
Right.
Why are we doing that to kids?
Don't have a glass of wine if you know you're going to be breastfeeding, but they're going to do that over in the UK. I
Oh my
mean,
God.
seriously, this is insanity what we're doing. And more and more people have to speak out against this. You guys have got to speak out. This is just crazy. It's crazy what
God.
we're doing. That guy should be in jail. He should be in jail forever for that video. And people are like, "Oh, this is great." What in the hell?
I see a lot of people are very angry at Denise. I'm gonna go ahead and ban Denise because
No,
Denise is just a
What is
troll.
Denise? What's Denise saying?
Just I don't even know, but everybody's
Denise
mad
is
at
probably
her.
like, "Oh, this is a great idea." What is Denise saying?
Probably.
Denise
if
probably
you
thinks
can
it's gross.
defend that, like,
Yeah.
bye. I don't
If
want
you
you
can-
anywhere around us.
I don't want you around me. You probably don't need to be around me if you defend this crap.
All right, it is time for some My Pillow talks, and you can still get the amazing Giza Elegance pillows for less than $20 right now when you go to mypillow.com/chicks. Use code chicks. You're going to get huge discounts on anything that you want from the My Pillow smorgasbord of awesomeness because there's not a single product that they make that isn't wonderful. I actually have a couple of these downloaded. Instead of sharing my screen, I'm going to share these first. I think this is just super informational. If you're a person who deals with wasp nests on your property anywhere.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Oh my gosh. So I have the cure. And I did not know this.
My daughter-in-law sent this to me the other day.
The
I'm
gasoline?
like, yes, it's
this is amazing, you guys. Watch this.
Gasoline trend to take down the wasp nest.
It's nuts.
You just hold up a glass of gas.
And
they just die.
They immediately die, you guys. There's
This
like
is
one
the best thing
holdout.
ever.
Look at the holdout. He's just like, I'm not gonna, and I'm gonna die.
Isn't that the coolest?
The chemicals just make him immediately die. It's crazy.
Now you have to scrape off the nest.
Craziness.
Got some gasoline.
I mean, this is so handy to know.
It is very handy because we do get those.
Bye.
Now, if they could just give me one for rattlesnakes.
What the fuck? That shit works.
It does work.
I love that.
Crazy.
Obviously, you can see what's coming. And
yes,
it's a
we
bear.
definitely want to kill them. We definitely want to kill them, Jennifer. We do.
Wasps serve no purpose except to be pests.
They're
and
sky terrorists.
Sky
That's what
terrorists,
they
yeah.
are. They are sky terrorists. We don't want
That's
them
it.
around.
They serve no purpose whatsoever.
No.
This is another video that just makes me want to have my own bear. I feel like everybody needs a bear. Look at this. How sweet. Hi, Dad. I'm just going to put my arm around you.
Oh, my gosh.
What you doing? What you seeing out the window? What are you guys looking at? What's happening?
Look at his little-
Isn't this the sweetest?
I mean, it is, but how did they obviously have, he's been around forever.
I want him.
The thing about videos like this that concern me is that it makes really dumb people think that they can be friends with bears.
What are you saying?
Okay, it's because listen, I'm not saying you're dumb, but there are people out there who think I can, like, the next time I see a bear in the wild, that bear's going to come up and he's going to give me a hug.
No,
And
I wouldn't hug a bear in the wild, but I would absolutely hug a bear under controlled circumstances.
Okay, but even in like the suburbs, if you see if a bear makes its way into the suburbs, there's going to be some suburban chick that sees these TikToks and she's going to be like, "Oh, he's in the suburbs. He must be nice." It's a controlled situation. And then that lady's going to die. And this is the problem that I have with these videos, like all over TikTok, of these bears hugging people and stuff like that. Because I would imagine that bear has probably been in that family's life.
Right. And that's what I mean. Like, I would hug that bear.
Probably like 15, 20 years that bear's been around or something. And they have domesticated that bear in some fashion. And even still, that bear could kill that family. In one night, that family's going to die.
That bear was just like, I'm going to put my arm around you like a person. It was the sweetest.
It's Snowflake's nightmare. That is how we get rid of the weaklinks. It's true. That family's going to die.
Remember how I played that story for you guys yesterday about the woman who like flashed her father-in-law on accident?
Yes.
Okay. So I have another story that's also an embarrassing story, but it's told by a woman with a British accent, which makes it a million times better.
Right.
And I just love everything about how she tells this.
How's your day going? Because mine's just great. Basically, we just had a delivery at the door, and so I went and got it. And also the delivery man said, I hope you don't mind, but your next door neighbour's not in. Would you mind taking next doors? And I said, no problem, that's absolutely fine. A matter of minutes later, my next door neighbour comes and knocks on the door. They're usually very chatty, very nice, but today it was almost verging on rude. And I thought, what have I done? They just grabbed the package and went. Then I walked back in the house and I realised that my tit was hanging out. My tit was out. I've been feeding the baby. My tit was out. Then I phoned my husband at work. I thought, oh my God, babe, I'm mortified. He said, you answered the door with your tit out, didn't you? I was like, how did you know that? He said, well, I've just got the delivery note from DPD, and in the top corner of the photo, your tit is hanging out. I hope you're well fed.
Oh my God.
I hope you enjoyed your meal.
So great. Oh
I
my
just
God.
love the way she tells it. I love it.
Greatest.
Also, you guys,
she didn't mean it, but it's just
she didn't mean
hanging
to.
right out. Yeah.
What is going on with Anthony Hopkins?
Oh my God. I was like,
What is happening?
oh my God, I don't know, but I'm there for it.
I mean, okay.
Is he I don't know, maybe having a breakdown or not. Maybe he's just messing with us. He could just be messing with us. Maybe he's just having fun with TikTok.
Maybe, because I hope that's the case, because I don't know what that was. I do not know what that was. Prince Harry has returned. He has a problem, you guys, with toothpaste.
Is it true you stopped brushing your teeth?
That's correct.
Why?
Because it's problematic.
How is it problematic?
Because every single tube of toothpaste specifies whitening.
So what? That's what you want.
That's harmful.
Do you at least use like Crest white strips or something?
I beg your pardon?
Sorry, listen, I didn't mean that. I'm just saying like to whiten your teeth.
I use Crest black strips.
What does that mean? To blacken your teeth?
It's a step in the right direction.
Come on, Harry, you gotta stop with this. Oh, Harry, your breath.
That's harmful.
I mean, it's problematic.
It's problematic. I love my brother. I love my family.
Also, this guy is telling a story with the point of view of being a passive aggressive airline worker, and I think we can all relate.
Are you checking in? Bag on the scale, please. And it is half a pound overweight, so we will be moving forward with that $1.2 million penalty, okay? Unfortunately, I can't change company policy, so I would suggest reading that before arrival next time. Yeah, exactly. And we will get you on the next flight out in about 3 months. Is that okay? Well, since the check-in for this flight is 1 o'clock and it's currently 1:01, we missed this one. Yeah, we missed it, unfortunately. Yeah, yes, sir. Exactly. Well, since your bag has already been checked, you can pick that one up in Minnesota. Yes, sir. Yeah, exactly. Sir, if you raise your voice, I will take that as a threat and you'll be placed on a permanent flight ban. Is that okay with you? Exactly. So we'll do things my way then. Okay. Exactly. Oh, and you're a VIP member. I had no idea. Yeah. Okay, we're just going to revoke that.
God, I hate flying.
Oh my God.
I absolutely hate it now. It's the worst. And now I'm afraid of lizard men in hoodies that blink sideways.
Right? Same.
Yeah. Now I'm totally afraid of that.
I think everybody should be.
Yeah.
Also, I have to show you there's a guy that has trained his dog. His claim to fame is that he has trained his dog tricks that no other person on the planet has trained their dog to do. So he's making sure this dog knows how to do things that no other dog can, like this.
Welcome back to teaching things to my dog that no one has ever taught their dog. Get your lip stuck. Get your lip stuck. Welcome back to
Get your lip stuck.
Get your lip stuck. And then he got his lip stuck. That's like a command that he knows now. And he's the only dog in the world that knows it.
Good boy.
Good boy. Not like these boys.
No. Oh my God. I cannot imagine the hair on that bed.
Oh my God.
So much hair, you guys.
So much. They are very loud. He's
Look
like,
at that
what?
That one is so cute. I mean, there's so much hair in my house, and I have 3 Danes, and they're short hair, right? But there's hair. I mean, hair is, I have to constantly vacuum and sweep. It's constant every day. I cannot imagine having huskies.
Same.
Oh,
that's a lot of loud right there.
A lot of hair.
Could you imagine having a baby pig?
Yes.
Pickle, you want a belly rub?
Pickle. Oh my gosh, I love him.
I mean,
Pickle, you want a belly rub?
Yes. God. He is so cute.
Oh my God. Anyway,
that's basically how Mock responds when her husband's like, "Would you like a belly rub?" Mock comes running around the
I don't
corner.
typically
She's
do that
giggling.
for belly rubs, but foot rubs.
Yeah,
I'm down.
She's giggling too. Hey, will
Yeah.
you get up? Will you get up? Say hi to everybody. Come on.
It's
get
Friday,
up,
so
get
it's
up.
required.
You gotta get up. Come on, get up.
It's required.
I'm trying kicking him. Come on, get up. He's growling at me. He's growling.
Oh, I have to thank Cindy Patton too. Cindy, thank you so much. Thank you for that super sticker. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Are you gonna get up? Come on, everybody's waiting. He's so mad. He's like,
wow.
He did that to me.
He's just not.
He's probably not gonna get up, you guys. He's so tired.
I mean, it's a hard life that he leads.
It is. I mean, it's just the puppy's definitely not coming in. We'll do next week. And next week, the puppy will be approximately 100 pounds.
He's like a legit dog now.
He's like almost 70 pounds, you guys. It's out of control. He's so gigantic. And then like he'll take these, he's still a puppy though. I mean, he's like 4 months old, right? So he'll take these running leaps on me and then and I have to like brace myself and then cover myself. And it's horrible because he doesn't realize that he's not, because he's a puppy, right? He did it to my husband yesterday and there's this giant gash in my husband's chin. We all get injured on a daily basis from this puppy. It's crazy. Yeah.
When do they realize how big they are?
Usually around 11 months. They're like, oh, I can drink out of the sink now, you know?
Okay. But then will they know not to like,
no, but they're not as rambunctious. Like the puppy kind of leaves them a little bit and they're not running and jumping on you as much, you know? So that's, almost 70 pounds and 4 months old. It's crazy. It's crazy.
That's
just
gigantic.
I know. He's so big. He's a big boy. Oh my gosh. You have a 4-month-old puppy is 2.8 pounds, Carol. I cannot imagine.
2.8 pounds?
Oh my God.
By the way, that's bigger than Jackson was when he was born.
Oh my God.
Just to give you an idea. I heard that and I was like, wow. Jackson was 2 pounds, 5 ounces when he was born.
Oh my God.
That's my youngest.
That is the size of Coda's poop. I'm convinced.
He was squirrel size. Like he was the size of a baby squirrel.
Teeny
Itty bitty.
tiny.
There's a
look at him
photo of
now.
my husband's wedding ring around his thigh, if that gives you any idea.
Oh my gosh. And look at him
He was
now.
teeny. And look at
He's
him
like
now.
this strapping young man.
He's like a hunk now. He's
I
like
know.
a
It's
hunky
crazy,
17-year-old.
guys. Crazy. You guys.
Anyway.
Have a wonderful weekend. I cannot believe
Yes.
it's the weekend already. It's just
I know.
crazy.
We just got here.
I know. I feel like it's just been the shortest week ever. But you guys have a wonderful weekend. We will talk to you on Monday.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.